Hey guys, RC Kiddo 71 here, and just real quick, I am going to make a 360 rotating mount to put on top of my RC cars. And I saw this done with a bicycle helmet, and I was thinking how cool it would be to do it with one of my RC cars. So I think I'm going to do it with either my Stampede or my Rustler. And few things you're going to need. I have a 1/2-inch piece of PVC right here. It was 5 feet long and I cut it down to 4 feet. And then there's a couple of various pieces of PVC piping, a couple of elbows, one solid piece which I'll explain later, and then this is about a 3.5 or 4-inch piece that I cut off at the end of the 5-foot long one. Again, this is now just 4 feet long. You'll need a wrench, a drill bit. You're going to need a caster that turns, and preferably one that has a wheel that you can undo. And then these are a couple of pieces of really heavy metal. I think that they are about, I don't know, 12 ounces or so. Yeah, 11.7 ounces. To counterweight the camera. So the first thing that you want to do, you're going to need a drill also. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is undo your caster wheel, and this basically can get tossed. So now you have this caster that spins without the wheel. I got one that has ball bearings. I don't know if you can see that or not, but has ball bearings. And you're going to want a drill bit that's going to be approximately the same as, or a little wider than, actually a little wider than the nut that you took off. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 1/4-inch drill bit, I think. So the first thing I'm going to do is drill a hole. What I've done actually is, this is 4 feet long, so I've just measured off 24 inches, dead center, and I'm going to drill a hole through here. So basically something like that. And then take this pin and just test it, make sure that it goes in there. And you just want it to be able to rotate back and forth real, freely. Then you take your caster holder, put that through just like that. And then just tighten this nut down. I think that it's good for it to have a little bit of movement, but I may change my mind and actually put some, I have a rubber ring that I may put in here just to keep it from going back and forth. Alright? So, something like that. And then you can see it's going to spin real freely, and I'll show you a little better when I get it mounted up. So another thing I forgot to tell you that you're going to need is some PVC glue, and I'm going to put an elbow on this end for now. And you don't need a lot of this stuff, but And I recommend doing this in a well-ventilated area too, by the way. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm doing... Okay. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm putting this elbow on here to be able to put another piece on like this. Alright guys, so basically the reason that I put this elbow on here is that when I mount my camera on here, I want it to come down a little further than my camera, so that if this pole hits the ground, it's not my camera hitting the ground. So that's the reason for that, just in case you were curious. Okay, for whatever it's worth, this stuff, this PVC glue, dries really, really fast. So, at least the stuff that I got, it's like almost instantaneously dry. So, keep that in mind. I mean, literally, like, once you put the piece on, it's almost like in a matter of 5 seconds or 10 seconds, maybe 15 at the most, you're unable to move it. So once it's on there, it's on there. It's not coming off. So anyhow, like I was saying, now that that's mounted on there, you can see it comes down further than the camera. So it's going to have some protection there. Alright? And I don't think I've seen that done before. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is find a way to attach this to the top of one of my cars. Okay, so I'm going to use this body because it's totally thrashed, and until I figure out the ideal way to mount this thing, I don't want to drill into one of my new bodies. I'm just going to mark it with the Sharpie, and then I'm going to use the same drill. And I hate to do this, but alright, so now I have 4 holes in the top, and I'm sure that you can see where I'm going with this. I am just going to zip tie it on there. I don't know, we'll see if we'll see if this is gonna work, but Baba Booey. Alright guys, so let's try this again. Alright guys, sorry my battery died there. So secure it in there. All you need to do is put that little post through. Alright. So I'll spin the truck around because I don't have room to spin the pole, but basically it'll be like that. Now, I'm going to have to mount the camera on, and then I'm going to put my weights in here. Okay, so because I don't know how much weight I really need here, I'm going to experiment with this a little bit. I'm going to wrap this around maybe 4 or 5 times. And by doing that, I've just made this weight a little bit thicker, and I'm going to push it in. And then, oops. Shoot, I'll be able to adjust kind of the weight level by pulling this in or out. And then once I find the sweet spot, I may tape it down or secure it so it doesn't slide around. But the one thing is that I am going to be moving my camera back and forth, you know, in and out to get a little further or closer perspective. So I'd like to be able to change the weight on the opposite end of the pole. Give it a shot. I haven't used this before, never done it before, so I apologize if my video is kind of lame, but more or less learning as I go. So I think I may have actually got it balanced out here. And again, this is like a really old, crappy Stampede body, but it'll work just fine for this. All right, guys. So as you can see, there's my green machine in 200 pieces, and I've decided that I don't like the fact that the pole is white for the GoPro mount, and you don't see it from the camera, but you see it when it's driving around. So I'm just going to paint it, and I just want to share this with you. I'm not going to show you how to do it because that's just stupid, waste of time. That would just be a waste of time, but what you want to get is this Krylon Fusion, which is specifically, if I could get it to focus, specifically for plastics. Okay, maybe that's a little better. Krylon Fusion for plastics. And I got the flat, and it does specifically say on here that it is for most plastics, PVC, hard vinyl, and glass. So anyhow, I'm gonna go paint it. I'll show you when it's done. Alright, man, so just putting the finishing touches on my GoPro 360 pole. I painted it black, flat black, with a Krylon PVC pipe paint. So, yeah, looking good, man. So, as you can see, the camera will rotate around the body. And I have it angled just right so that you can't see the caster on top of the car. And also, I'm in the process of working on a quick release caster for the top, but for this purpose, this time, a magnetized unit that I can just pop on there and pop off. But the problem with that is that it can get knocked off the roof of the car, and I don't want to damage my GoPro. But anyways, here you go. Here's an example of how it works. Try to give you a little wider view. So as you can see, the camera rotates, and it always points at the car. And right now, it's not quite balanced right. I knocked the weights I have are inside the end of the pole on the other side from the camera. And so, yeah, let's see here. Something like that. Anyways, you guys get the idea. It came out super cool. Easy thing to do. I think the paint was like $3, $4 maybe. Maybe $8 worth of caster block and PVC pipe, and I had a $6 bottle of PVC glue already here. So, you know, geez, for pretty much less than $20,
I put the whole thing together. And you've seen the results. If you haven't seen the video, go check the video out, because in my opinion it turned out really, really, really cool. So I hope you guys like this, and you know, I don't mind sharing my ideas, and if you like it, I guess give me a thumbs up and tell other people. So, all right, thanks.